really wanted everyone to get the full 3 hours of the brunch. So the brunch technically started at noon. Ta-da! Everyone's here! Yay! No, but I really wanted everyone to get their money's worth because we have some dynamic speakers this morning. I am Crystal Smith. I am the CEO and founder of Six Figure Single Mom. So I career coach. Thank you. So I career coach single parents whenever they feel stuck in their careers and they want to advance. So I teach them how to find careers and how to control their finances. So I'm an accountant by trade. So for my 9 to 5, that's what I do. I do budgeting, I do forecasting. I talk to my project managers about spending too much money and stop it because you're gonna overrun your budgets and stuff like that. But I'm a numbers gal, so I love everything about numbers and I love educating those around me about that. I became a single mom in college. So I was ending my junior year in college. And I became a single mom. Instantaneously, I became a single mom. And I just knew that I didn't want that to be my story. So a lot of times when we hear about single parents, it's the woe is me and your life is doomed. But I wanted to create a lane for single parents that looked different. I wanted to create a lane for single parents where they had hope, where they could look forward to someone who was just like them, who wasn't ashamed of their situation, and who was putting other single parents on the map. So I love everything about what I do because it changes the trajectory of a household. You'll always hear me say that. Single parents is only a one-income household, so we have to maximize our earning potential. We have to watch our spending, and we have to keep a positive and winning mindset. So that's what I'm all about. So that's a little bit about me. You guys should have boxes on your table. So everyone has a raffle ticket up on entry? Did everyone get a raffle ticket? Okay, perfect. So keep your raffle tickets, and throughout the morning, we will do a couple of raffles, but I do have an icebreaker now that we are started at our proper time. So I want for everyone, I know we all comfy and we came in with our peeps and stuff like that, but I want for you I'm all about networking as well. So every lady on the panel that I have here this morning, I met, introduced myself, they reached out to me, I reached out to them, but we are all networking. We cannot do it alone. We have got to network. We have got to get out, meet people, be confident in our skill sets, and we have got to network. So with that being said, the first icebreaker is going to be to get up and introduce yourself to someone who is not at your table, who you do not know. So we will have 5 minutes to do that, starting now. A lot of time I have on joggers and just like a little hoodie sometimes. So you just never know who you might meet when you're out. So I love doing that activity. I would like to take this opportunity. Like I said, I became a single mom, and I do have some family members in the room that I want to acknowledge who have helped me along the way as my child was a baby girl to I have a 15-year-old. Yep. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So my mom is here. Can you stand? My mom is here. She's the first lady, y'all. And my two sisters are also here, so can you guys stand? This is my foundation. So this is my foundation. I have some aunts here as well. Can you guys stand also? Yep. And the room is full of the rest of my family and friends. So I consider everybody in the room family and friends. That's why we don't just sit back. We engage with each other. We talk to each other, and we help each other to progress. So like I said, thank you for joining me. I do want to acknowledge the sponsors for this morning, because a couple of them have to step out after a while. So the Six Figure Single Mom Company would like to thank Valerie Canada and the Chronico Insurance Company. So everyone has a pin on their table that's wrapped in plastic. That is my insurance agent, y'all. So she called me every year and asked me for that $600 or $700 for that flood insurance that still ain't hit my house. But I'm gonna be responsible and still get it. Okay, so that's my insurance agent. Creators Guild Studios. So LP is the owner of Creators Guild Studio, and he has Cantu here with him as well from the Creators Guild Studio. So a lot of people may not know, but the Six Figure Single Mom has a YouTube page. So I record at LP Studio. And so if any of you are interested in podcasting or anything like that, or if you just want to shoot a promotional video or anything like that, get with LP and he can definitely help you get that done. He's been very gracious and a mentor at this point. I also like to thank Youngblood Legacy Media and Productions that sponsored a ticket. Sister Geneva Green sponsored a ticket. Denise Smallwood, and also Tiffany Flores, and also Jolinthia Walker. All of those people sponsored a ticket, all because they believe in everything that I'm doing. So I want to thank all of those people first and foremost. And then I also want to thank, what's their dad's name? Ivan Seahorn. So I have some Resilient Parent Brunch t-shirts. So Mr. Ivan Seahorn just wanted to make these t-shirts for me, and I wanted him to make them too, to signify the first annual Resilient Parent Brunch. I've always wanted to do an event like this. I've always wanted to just get a bunch of amazing women in a room so that we could just collaborate and so that we could all share ideas and knowledge and things like that so that we could progress. So the t-shirts are 1 for $15 or 2 for $25. And if you support that, that will help me to support his business as well, patronize his business as well. So without further ado, I have 4 dynamic speakers. Oh my gosh. I have 4 dynamic speakers, all mothers. So they all understand what it's like to be a mom, and they all understand what it's like to not only exist in your career, but to advance in your career. So we don't want to just exist in our careers. If we're gonna be there 40 hours out of the week, more time that we're spending with our families, we wanna be advancing, right? So 4 dynamic speakers, and I'm so excited to hear them speak. So first up, we have Brittany Perry. I'm gonna read all of their bios before they come up. So Brittany Perry's bio is: embarking upon her junior year of college, Brittany disclosed to her friends and family that she was pregnant. Although she built a close-knit community away from home, she was nearly 750 miles from her immediate family and was faced with a decision that would change the trajectory of her life forever. Although her journey was far from traditional, she was determined to beat the odds and graduate college when others advised her otherwise. Brittany graduated from the University of Kansas with a Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering. She returned to her hometown of Houston, Texas, to begin her career in oil and gas as a design engineer with a big vision and a toddler in tow. Brittany shifted her sights to become an accomplished project manager that was fueled with an unrelenting passion to overcome challenges, dismantle negative stigmas of Black females in a male-dominated industry, and became the woman she was always envisioning herself to become. She owned her career, her life's narrative, and her future. Managing multi-million-dollar LNG and energy systems projects for Fortune 500 companies such as ExxonMobil, Chevron, ConocoPhillips, Chery Energy, and more. She definitely excelled in her field. She earned the respect of her clients, peers, and management while creating a space for herself to flourish in her career while balancing motherhood. Brittany has since become a certified Scrum product owner that she has used as leverage to take a leap of faith into a field of software and technology as engineering project manager. With a heart to serve others and curate beautiful experiences that would last a lifetime, Brittany birthed Regal Event Designs, a full wedding and event planning company. With over 5 years of event planning experience, Brittany loves making couples' weddings dreams come to life. So before I bring her up, Brittany is my good friend. We was pregnant at the same time. Brittany came to my house, my dad said, "That girl ain't going to college with that baby. She gonna leave that baby with me." "Brittany, you really gonna take your baby to college?" Brittany was like, "Yes, I stay in Kansas." At this point, I'm in college in Kansas. Yes, I'm taking my baby. So he made her feel, I think when she told him, because my dad is a pastor, so I think when she told, and he's very old school, so I think when she told him she was taking her baby back to college, it kind of eased his heart a little bit so I could take my baby back to college, because he told me no. He told me no. He said, "You're not taking my grandchild to college." So without further ado, I'm so excited to bring her up, Brittany Perry. Good, ma'am.
Good afternoon. How are y'all lovely ladies? Y'all look amazing today, okay? I'm pretty sure it's every day, but y'all looking exceptionally amazing today. This purple, ma'am, woo, we're going to talk about that one afterwards. Can y'all hear me okay? Everyone's good? Okay, awesome. Well, thank you first and foremost, Crystal, for just allowing me to embark on this with you. This is amazing to have a platform where us single moms can talk about networking, to talk about, professional exploits and things like that, where we typically don't see that in media, especially for women of color, honestly. We always see these negative stigmas associated with it, right? So thank you for that. Can y'all give a round of applause for Crystal? And to piggyback off of what Crystal said, we date back for quite some time or whatnot. And so we always kept up throughout, after graduation of high school and college. And it was like by chance, how do we end up expecting around the same time? I mean, we were calling each other, boo-hooing about this, that, and another, about school, a boy, or whatever else. And it's like, oh, girl, guess what? You too, me too, So I think it's always amazing how people cross your paths and you never know the reason why they stay around, right? And Crystal will attest to it. With times we would talk probably, every other day, especially when we were in college, and always, keeping up with each other to, maybe we'll talk every other month or, once a quarter or whatnot. But I think bonds like that really, when they stand the test of time like that, it just speaks to the individuals as a core, as a whole, that, listen, I have things going on in my life, but you're always my sister. You always, anything you need, I got you, right? So when she invited me to this, I jumped at the chance. I'm like, girl, no questions asked, let's do this, So a little bit more about myself. Thank you so much for the bio and whatnot, but excuse me. Yes, my daughter's 15 years old and she's giving me a run for my money, y'all. Ran into some issues even this morning, but I made it here concerning car issues. She got volleyball. She has a number of things going on, but it is the most rewarding thing, as we were talking about earlier, ladies, the most rewarding thing to be a mother. As many of y'all know, right? Being a mother, if it's one child, multiple children, boy, girl, makes no difference. It is the most rewarding thing ever. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And so with me going into, now kind of segue into more or less about project management, I knew I was getting into an industry as it was reflected in school, predominantly white male dominated. And I was like, Brittany, you gotta, hold your ground, right? And then I got to a point where now I'm the pregnant Black girl. And I'm in Kansas. Kansas doesn't have a lot of us up there, right? We're not gonna even get into why I even ended up there, but they offered me some money, so my parents shipped me off in a heartbeat. But I was like, I love y'all too, dang. But going into it, I dug my heels into it, and I knew, I was like, Brittany, you have to determine right now if you're going to, whoever you're gonna be, what you envision to be, and don't let anything deter you from it. And then obviously when I found out I was expecting, I had a choice. And when I tell you I had family members, I had immediate family members say, come on back home, you'll just be another dropout. I mean, these are the words that they told me, and I'm like taken aback, because I'm like, you blood, like you're not extended blood, you blood, and you're telling me this? And so it started out as, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And then it transferred into, Brittany, I'm gonna prove everything right that you envision yourself to be, right? So I encourage y'all to shift your mindset so away from any fear, any negative disposition that someone else may have about you, regardless if you're shooting for, a new goal that you're embarking upon now, something that could be in the future, or something that you've allowed to lay dormant because somebody said something to you, right? Never allow that to deter you. But as Crystal stated, I'm project manager. I was in oil and gas for about 12 years. Thank God I'm out of that. No jabs at any ONGs out there. Y'all see, she knows what it is. Very cyclical and whatnot, but I did take a leap of faith and moved into software development. It is in technology. It's been the greatest thing ever. Steep learning curve, but it's totally worth it. And one of the things I remember with my daughter, like interviewing for multiple positions, and she's like, Mom, you got this? I'm like, I'm actually nervous for first time in a very long time. The other stuff I can do in my sleep, but this, I'm like, ugh, So it was huge for me to really nail that, because I have these set of eyes that are looking at me, as y'all all know. There are sets of eyes, and it's not even limited to your own kids. There's other people, there's people within your network, within your families. They're looking at y'all to, looking at all of us, like, what are you doing? What's your next move and whatnot? So we always want to set that example. So let's talk a little bit about project management, but not in light of what it is in our corporate career world, right? How many of y'all have had to juggle schedules of your kids, drops off, pickups, there we go, over there, I see a lot of waving, yes. Married, not, or whatever that may be. We've had to manage our own projects within our home, and it could be a project that you're maybe renovating some things in-house, doing some interior decorating. We'll touch on that a little bit later. Whatever it may be, any projects, even if it's to purchase a house, those type of things, it can be very cumbersome. It can be very stressful. It can be overwhelming, right? So I want to chat with you guys about, as far as like, how do you introduce project management into your life on a regular basis? So first and foremost for me, I have to plan my planning time. That sounds like, okay, that's like over the top. And it's like, no. Because if I don't set that time out for myself and whatever that looks like to actually plan it, everything's going to pull me in every direction. I already have I don't know if I have ADHD or not, but everything as it is always pulls me in a different direction. Like I have to shut down all these extra thoughts in my mind. I'm like, no, we're focusing on this. So a lot of times what I have set in place, outside of like if it's in a crazy emergency or whatnot, but I have a planning time Mondays at 3 p.m. every Monday, like clockwork. I utilize that for planning time. That's my time to check in on what maybe I already have on the books that I'm working through. That can be, and this is strictly for family stuff, to be honest with you. I don't allow a lot of career stuff to interject in that area, just because it's solely for my family. My family deserve that much from me, as if not more, for what I've poured into like business and corporations and stuff like that. So I take that time. Some of that time does involve meditating. Some of that involves prayer for me. So that way I have some guidance in terms of, okay, are there certain aspects of my life that I need to allow to shift? Do I need to allow it to fall to the wayside for a little bit, or maybe just shift this priority or where it is, right? So I allow that time to really center myself. And I would encourage you to do the same. It's okay. Plan that time out for you. And even if you're like, okay, everything's running smooth, still take that time for yourself. I look at it as a form of self-care. If you don't plan based off of some vision, you're going to plan to fail at the end of the day. And you're going to find yourself in that cycle of like scattering and then just juggling everything. And you end up dropping balls. And some of those balls, unfortunately, are glass, and you can't reconcile it and you can't recoup from it, unfortunately. And then with that comes finding your framework. Now, I might start talking about some technical stuff, but bear with me, be patient. One of the things that you will find, how many of y'all know that when you're planning anything at home or anything with family or anything like that outside of work, it's usually you got, like I said, you have multiple balls being juggled and whatnot, and things that are going to be going on simultaneously, and you're having to make sure that I'm prioritizing. Yes, that everyone understands that that's how that works. So in the corporate world or in technology, and some of y'all may know, that's a form of Scrum project management, right? So you have multiple tasks that are going on simultaneously. They can have certain dependencies that play off of one another, and you're always trying to rethink and reanalyze, okay, as one thing shifts, how does it impact something else, right? And that something else doesn't even just mean another task. That something else could be, how does it impact a person? How does it impact my child? How does it impact my husband or my boyfriend or whoever you have as a significant other or whatnot? How does it impact, in my case, my mother? If I'm having to shift my schedule, I need her to come pick up my daughter, like things like that, right? So you want to find a framework that works for you. And what this would include is sprints or spurts of like increments of these tasks, right? So that way you can take off, like you can bite off digestible pieces of your project, right? And the whole thing about that, if you take off too much, you'll get overwhelmed and then you end up being back right where you were before. And that's what we're trying to avoid at this point, right? So you want to plan your planning time, find your framework that works best for you, and also understand that when you're able to easily manage those increments, you find that you'll actually achieve accomplishing those tasks, and that builds up momentum. Then that builds up your morale. You're like, okay, I can actually achieve this. I can actually go out there and do whatever I need to do concerning, managing my child's schedule. If there's a goal of purchasing a home, or I want to purchase a new car, or, whatever that may be for you, or do some renovations, whatever that may be, you can do that. And also take that as a time where I would definitely encourage you to include the family members or whoever your support system is, right? Those key individuals, bring them into that discussion, bring them into that mindset, because they can also give you some insight as far as what they're seeing from the outside looking in, right? And you can incorporate that into it. But then say after, 2 week increments, or those 2 week sprints, if you will, you can actually get some feedback. They'll tell you what some output, like, okay, this worked, this didn't work. And don't even just look at it for the sake of tasks or anything that's metric based, so to speak. Ask them how they feel about it. Did this bring anxiety on you? Because I thought I was cool. Did this make you more stressful because we had to reroute some things? Always being mindful, because you got to think about, if you're managing that project, you're essentially a general without an army, and you're managing them too, right? You're managing their expectations, how they're feeling, and how they're moving through that space. Because at the end of the day, if we want to be successful, we want to make sure everybody rises up to the occasion as well. And if there's anything that's weighing on them, you want to be mindful of that. Then you want to be specific. But know that you don't have to assign a task to every single detail. So you've gone through, identify your goals during your planning time, right? You've identified the appropriate framework that fits to it. Now you want to be specific towards those details, right? But don't be overly married to the details, right? Be married to the ultimate goal, to the ultimate end destination, but also understand you need some flexibility in how you get there. Crystal Meg mentioned her in accounting and dealing with project managers and how we can go over budget if you let us, right? And we, that's why we've been friends so long. But that's a key thing, right? So you have other checks and balances that can help you understand if certain details are priorities or not. If something needs to fall to the wayside, right? And you just really, really want to hone in on that and understand certain details can fall off if it's going to impact, if we have certain constraints. Maybe buying my child the latest and greatest shoes isn't, the biggest thing. Maybe if I have a budget because I'm trying to buy a home or trying to purchase a new car or clean up my credit, whatever that may be, we can get that mid-grade something. It still performs the same thing on the court. You can still, baby girl, MJ jumped like that, not you. And it's okay. It's okay. I believe in you, but let's be real about it, Let's be real about it. So we're not gonna drop, $200 on some sneakers. We might get some $100. I had joked with my daughter the other day. I was like, you want me to get you some Skechers? And she cocked her neck back. I said, well, cock your neck back like you pay a bill or something. But no, all jokes aside, you want to be mindful of those things. So marrying to the end goal, to the end journey, and those are discussions you can even have with your child. They're old enough to understand those complexities. Let them know if the objective is for you to say get a college, scholarship or whatnot. I want you to play to your best ability, but we're not going to lean on, some brand to make you do that. Your talent, your skill, your work ethic, it has to far exceed somebody's brand and somebody's name. And then hopefully maybe one day your name is slapped on something, So get into the weeds of it, identify certain dependencies within those details to better organize and order in which you complete everything, and set priorities. I can't stress that part enough about setting priorities. We will find ourselves so deep in the weeds of things for the sake of accomplishing something, just for the sake of accomplishing something. And then we lose sight of the overall vision. And then we have to reshift our priorities again, right? And so when you're developing those tasks and everything like that, and we'll get into, there are also some tools, and you're like, Brittany, I don't want to download another app, but you'll find out that it really can assist you in a lot of things, especially in the personal world, right? Beyond just our calendars and our planners. But you can identify those dependencies and then create those priorities. Because if you're in the weeds for too long, you miss out on key milestones, right? If you're in the weeds too much, as far as say, I ran into an incident recently of this involved my daughter with volleyball, right? And I was so just honing in on her taking private lessons because she wanted to excel in this, that, and another or whatnot. But I missed the whole key milestone as far as her meeting some key metrics as far as her club volleyball team, right? There were dues that were associated with that. I didn't put the additional private lessons into the budget. And I'm not gonna lie, that month was pretty hard, and it was some cereal nights, right? So, because I wasn't about to go eat out. So that just helps you put in perspective, like, oftentimes we can get in the weeds, especially with our kids, because we want to give them the best. We want to give them oftentimes things that we didn't have, but sometimes that's not beneficial for them in the long run, in the bigger picture. And let me know if I'm good on time, because I can talk. You know I can talk. Okay. But where was I? So we identified dependencies and understanding, and we set priorities. Don't plan out too far. Let's plan out for 10 years and we're gonna stick to it. And then all of a sudden I'm like stressed out, rocking back and forth in the corner because I'm like, I'm not hitting my milestone. Don't plan out too far. Don't do that to yourself. That's a form of self-care, to be honest with you, because that if anything, creates more anxiety, you become more overwhelmed or whatnot. Look at it in 2-week increments, 3 weeks, a month, whatever works best for you in that framework that you've identified. And at that point, you can reassess along the way, and that's okay. That goes back to just marry the destination, don't necessarily marry the how and the details and the weeds of it, right? So that way, if you need a shift, if you need some more flexibility for whatever it is, for example, and y'all gonna hear me, I'm gonna keep using my daughter as a reference, but for the sake of, the next month after I blew the budget that month before, that next month, I had to let go of some things so that way I could create some flexibility because she wanted to do private lessons for the sake of the bigger picture of her excelling and getting better and better, right? So therefore, you can shift a little bit. The end goal was still for her to accomplish what she needed to accomplish for the sake of the club team that she was on. That allowed mommy to come in and shift some things, right? And then also when you don't plan out too far, be realistic. We have to be very realistic and honest with ourselves about our constraints. Those constraints could be monetarily, financially, looking at your budget. Some of that could be simply time constraints. Do you have the resources in terms of a grandmother, or a grandfather, whomever, a parent or whomever, a close friend that's in close proximity to help you with whatever you need help with, right? Be realistic about those, because the other thing you don't want to do, you don't want to overstrain other people and your resources to where you deplete them, right? We all know how that works. So it's being very honest about that. And in turn, being honest about your needs. And so maybe you have to put another task in there, like, okay, I may not be able to achieve this next month. Let's put it out 2 months from now or 3 months from now, and be realistic about it. Because if you try to shoot too high, you can set yourself up for disappointment if you don't hit that mark when it was never achievable to begin with, right? And then then lastly, I want to touch on, there are actually tools out there that you can use. If y'all want to pull out your phone, there's some apps. You can look into it on your own time, but go ahead if you want to. You can download one if you want, and then explore with it. But there's also YouTube channels on this. You can explore as much as you want. But a couple of project management tools that I do use for my personal life are Asana, that's ASANA, or Basecamp. Basecamp is another one. And actually, surprisingly enough, they actually use them in like nonprofits, corporates, so you're hanging with the big guys in this. But feel free to look up their tutorials, go online. You can YouTube, they're great one-on-ones or for beginners and stuff like that. And you'll find if you have bigger projects, I'm not saying you do this for every little thing, right? But if you see okay, I want to buy a new car, or I want to get my, son or daughter into this private school, whatever it may be, how can I set myself up to be successful in that manner, right? So in that light, you can look those tools up. You have it easily at your fingertips. That also has desktop versions as well. And so you can essentially set yourself up to succeed, okay? So I hope all of that helped you. I hope that I was able to lend some nuggets of wisdom or whatnot, and I really appreciate you. Yes, ma'am?
You said AS as a Sam?
Yes. Apple, Sam, Apple, Nancy, Apple. And the other one is Boot Camp. Or not Boot Camp, Base Camp, sorry. I'm over here thinking about sis at the end with the working out. I'm sorry, I missed my boot camp this morning. It's Base Camp. But thank y'all again so much. Thank you, Crystal, again. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you.
See, Brittany, one of them project managers, I gotta be like, this is what we gonna do. No, I love working with project managers. They're so fun. You gotta keep a tight rein on them, right? Because they like to do their own thing, but they're so creative and they're very solution oriented. I love solution oriented people. Don't bring me a problem without a solution. So, it's just not helpful at all. So everybody got raffle tickets. Pull your raffle tickets out. We're gonna do a raffle. Gonna draw a ticket between every speaker. Can we get Miss Sandy's daughter to pull?
Miss Sandy's daughter.
Right here.
Here we go.
Can you pull a ticket?
Thank you.
Okay. It is 004011.
All right. Is that it?
004011. Oh, wow. You don't want, oh, she don't want it. Okay, can you pick another one? Okay, 004036. So that's my best friend. Me and Shatera been best friends since the 7th grade, 8th grade, 7th grade, one of them, long time ago. So thank you guys so much. So without further ado, our second speaker. This girl, dang, she's so great. So Tynesha and I went to Sam Houston together, and she was always a shining light. And you know what? She used to work at Target. I used to be like, she thinks she's something because she worked at Target. Because I wanted to be a manager at Target. I did. They would I feel like the managers were like so cool and they got paid so good. I feel like I was in college. I was like, dang, they get paid good. So she worked at Target, but she's just a shining light. So I'm gonna read her bio. Ty Beaver is currently a corporate HR business partner in higher education with over 15 years of experience. Within her career in HR, she advises corporate leaders on the implementation of organizational goals and employee relations strategies. Ty is a graduate of Sam Houston State University and a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Get your shine on. Get your shine on. Aside from the corporate role, Ty is also a small business owner and content creator who is turning her passion of interior styling into an additional business venture. When she is not working, Ty enjoys spending time with her family, friends, traveling, and of course, shopping. She be on point. I can't even lie. Ty is a woman willing to wear many hats just as long as they're cute. Without further ado, Ty Beaver. She's so cute.
Good morning. Is it afternoon? Yes, afternoon, y'all, huh? So I'm typically a talker, but I had to rein myself in so that I could really chat with y'all. But to her point, y'all look amazing. So thank you so much, Crystal, for having me. I'm really excited to be here and speak to y'all. So like Crystal said, my name is Ty, and I do wear many hats, but today I'm gonna wear my corporate HR hat with y'all, okay? So I can be your HR homegirl today. So like she said, for the last several years, I train and coach leaders on just their professional development and what it looks like to specifically for them, because that looks different for everybody, right? Like developing professionally and what that looks very different for everybody. And so early on, I learned that a lot of people don't really know what that is or even how to go about doing it and stifle their own career growth. And so today I would just like to share some tips and insights I've learned from my own experience and what I've shared with employees along the way. But before we begin, I want to take y'all back to 2011, okay? It's 2011. I'm just recently graduated college. I got my first big girl apartment in Houston. I'm living life. I'm working at Target. I'm the HR manager there, and I unexpectedly become a mother. I too was a single mother. I was fresh out of college. I thought I was gonna be living the city life. This is my line sister right here. We was hanging tough. We was gonna be living. And I was blessed with a little girl. Mine is 11, so she's right on the heels of what y'all dealing with, okay? As a recent college graduate working my first corporate HR job, I had all these plans for my life. And then when I became a mom, I had to refocus those plans and the ideas that I have for my life, because y'all know once you have a child, your life looks very, very different, right? And that little girl came in my world and completely rocked it. And so I went from just worrying about my career to worrying about this little girl. And I realized that there was very little guidance or even ideas on how to navigate working in the corporate world as a mother. especially as a single Black mother, because what are we doing? We're fighting the stereotypes of being a single mother, right? And then we already know that we got to show up 10 times better than all of our counterparts, male, female, Caucasian, white, Black, right? And then you add motherhood on it, right? And there's no grace for us, right? You got to show up. You got to show up on time. And I don't know about y'all, but sometimes just showing up is hard, right? But you have to, because what I knew is to give my daughter the best life that I could, I just had to do it. My mom lived 3 hours away, but I did it. And so how I did that is I just continued. I said, I gotta climb that corporate ladder, because I knew that being a great mother, building my career and increasing my earning potential would give my child the best life that I could, because they were all equally as important to me. I didn't feel like I needed to let my career go because I had a child. I had went to college. I paid a lot of money for that degree. I was gonna use that degree, okay? And as you all know, it's a juggling act parents face daily, right? With a lot of prayer, y'all, determination, mentors, and sheer drive, I have been able to build a successful corporate career in HR while navigating parenthood. I understand the challenges and have become very passionate about teaching others how to navigate that space, because there's no one waving a flag when you get a job and be like, hey, come talk to me and I'll show you how to succeed. That doesn't exist, right? And so I really believe in each one, teach one, right? So if I learn the way, I can share it with you. And if she learns the way, she can share it, right? And I think that's the beauty of sisterhood that we all have in here, right? Because we can look at each other and, girl, I know what you're going through, you know? And I really feel very passionate about that. And it kind of been dormant in me. And then I saw Crystal one night. I was doing my nightly scroll. And y'all know how that is. You laying in the bed doing your nightly scroll before you go to bed. And Crystal's six-figure single mom popped up. And God just whispered real quietly in my ear. He said, reach out to her. And I typically don't do that. I kind of stay in my own little bubble. But I listened to the Lord that day. And I reached out to her and I just said, I love what you're doing, because there is not a lot of people out here giving single moms the gems that they need to succeed, and then wonder why us as Black women, we are making 8 times less than our counterparts, right? Because nobody is sharing that with us. And so I just said, hey, use me. The Lord just said, tell her use you. And Crystal, I told you that, didn't I?
Are you sure?
I was sure because there's not many people in the workplace that look like us and sharing knowledge. And so I wanted to help any way I can. So I'm very, very grateful, Crystal, for you letting me do that. So today I just want to talk about how to establish your corporate identity. And that's by designing your blueprint to your career, establishing who you want to be and how to evolve in that. And that piggybacks on what she talked about as well, because you got to have that planning period to really determine where you want your career to go. Because I'm here to tell you, it doesn't happen by happenstance. And unfortunately, it really doesn't happen by happenstance for Black women. So we got to go out and get what's really ours. And also, our careers are serious business. I don't know if y'all have read any news articles lately, but Black women are graduating at the highest % right now, right? We have the knowledge, we have the tools. We just got to make sure we prepare ourselves to show up, to be able to take our seat at the table. So that's what we're going to talk about, right? Because we can't just apply for jobs, even though we know we're overqualified for them. Hope someone sees our resume or application and calls us for an interview. It just doesn't work like that, especially now with technology. And so we have to know our worth, advocate for ourselves, build a network, and create strategic relationships. So we also know, like I just said, that corporate America lacks diversity, right? Because who in here has been the only woman in your department or your place of work? Who has been the only person of color in the place of the work? Who has never reported to a Black supervisor before? You see that? And so you've been in a meeting and there's no one in that meeting that looks like you. And then secondly, there's no one in the meeting that talks like you, right? So what do we have to do? I don't know if y'all seen that viral video about code switching, right? We all had to walk in and code switch, right? That's just how corporate America works. And y'all, I know being an entrepreneur is great and I do that too, but there's still nothing wrong with a 9-to-5. You just have to know how to show up as your authentic self because there's room for both, okay? And so how do we change being the only people in the room that look like us? We got to secure our seat at the table, whatever and wherever that table may be, even if that means you got to build your own. And I'm not saying you always have to leave a company and literally go start your own, but it could mean you going to the company, showing your worth and your value, and you could write a job description for a role that fits what you know how to do and creating a need for that role. And so how do we do that? We create the blueprint. So before you even go in those rooms, you got to create the blueprint for that. And so we're going to talk about a little bit about how to acknowledge that, or we need to acknowledge that there's some work that we can do to invest in ourselves, right? And skills when we first invest in ourselves and skills that we need to take to those seats. Because when we get to those seats, we'll be ready to perform at our highest level and we're going to secure the bag. Okay, so it's not just about getting to that table, it's about securing the bag because we deserve every dollar that we work hard to get, okay? So let's be honest, we all want to get paid, right? So no matter where you are in your career, I always recommend you start off with creating a blueprint of what you want your career to look like at every stage in your life and leave room for edits. And what I mean by that is that you can create a blueprint if you just start your career, you're in the middle of your career, you've decided that you want to do a career shift, or you're near retirement. So for me, like she said, make a goal that's not too far out. I hate to admit, I did make a plan to get me to retirement early, but I left room for edits. And the biggest edit was in 2011, right? I had no clue that I was going to have a daughter a year into my career. I had to make a big shift, right? And so ask yourself, do you want to be a single contributor at the job that you work because you don't want to manage grown people at work and them little people at home? I can't manage both of y'all. Something got to give, right? Or do you want to be a boss at work, right? And I mean, you are a boss at home already because we be bossing them little kids around. I don't know about y'all, but some of them kids need a little bossing around, right? So whatever your desires are, write that out and then start to work towards that. And you can start, like I said, from wherever you are in your career and edit that as many times as you need. The key is writing it down and making it plain, okay? I'm a firm believer in writing out your goals, but the biggest thing is speaking that over your life. I remember when I had my daughter, I spoke 3 things over my life, and she can probably attest to this. I said, I'll be a homeowner by 25. I said, I'll make 6 figures by the time I'm 30. And I said, I will have a family no matter what that looks like, right? Because they'll tell you, once you're a single mom, getting married, that makes it harder, right? And I'm here to tell y'all, God's good. I've achieved all 3 goals, but that wasn't with, thank you. It wasn't without a lot of hard work and a lot of planning, like she said to her point. So when you make the blueprint, you just ask yourself 4 simple questions. You say, what do I need for my career? Because a lot of people go into job searching saying, what can I give this career? No, what can you get out of the career, right? What type of work do I most enjoy? Because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes if you don't enjoy it, quit. And start finding something for you. Life is too short to sit at a job that you do not enjoy. Right. Why do you want this change, or why do you want to change? And how will it impact your career? And 4th, what's your timeline? How long will it take you to execute your plan? So we can use some of her tools that she just shared with us, right, on creating that framework. And so once you've had your career blueprint mapped out, then you have to start taking steps to make it happen, which takes me to my next point of establishing who you want to be. Because we all know the saying, know your worth and then add tax, right? So I'm gonna try that again. Know your worth and add tax. There we go. And so all they're trying to do is say, don't sell yourself short. Don't take less than you deserve. So to do that, we must invest in ourselves, our careers, and our crafts. And every step of your career will require enhanced skills. So you can't just dress for the job, but we know we are gonna dress, right? Because that is important. But you have to prepare for the job you want to. So what I like to do is just look at job descriptions so go on LinkedIn. If you haven't heard of LinkedIn, it is the best tool for you to use to advance your career. And just start clicking companies you like, then clicking jobs that you like. It'll have the job description on there of what they want. And take 2 skills that you do not currently have and go figure out how to get those skills. That could be a webinar, that could be YouTube, that could be a career coach, that could be several different things. And take those 2 skills, because now you have transferable skills. You can use it on the job that you currently work, and now you're marketable to the job in the career field that you do want, okay? And then you wanna also make sure you understand that you are your brand. You're your biggest advertisement, right? And I've heard some employees say, well, girl, I done invested in this degree. What else do you want me to do? Invest in you, because I believe if you invest in yourself personally, you'll show up as your best self professionally. And so we also have to look at investing in ourselves personally, which means your mental and your physical health, y'all, because these jobs and these kids will suck us dry, okay? And leave you depleted and little for you. And I've been on that side where I have given so much to my family, my job, everybody but me. And I started not showing up to my job in the best that I could be because I was depleted. So I had to put me first, y'all. And then, so you have to practice mindfulness and properly fueling your body. And then you also want to note that you are an asset to yourself. And if you don't invest in the skills and training necessary to level up your value, you will depreciate, right? Like a car. If you keep that car up, when you trade it in, you get top dollar for that car, right? But if it's a beater, you're not going to get nothing for it. And that's just real talk, y'all. So that leads me to my last point of evolving into what you want to be professionally. So once you've leveled up your personal and professional development, now you have to network so the right people know who you are. And I'm telling you, there's probably some people in this room that you need to know, and you can add value to them and they can add value to you. So thank you for having everybody get up and introduce themselves, because I know that's even awkward for me and I love to run my mouth. But networking is about making connections. It's really just about building relationships, because what our counterparts have learned, especially males, most decisions happen outside of the workplace. They're not making the deals sitting in meetings, especially the meetings with us. They went to golf, they went to dinner, and they've made them deals, and then come sit in my office and we can talk about it and put it down on paper, right? So we got to do the same thing. We can't be running from behind. We got to get ahead or even equal to where our counterparts are, right? And so I want to talk about what does networking look like? Because a lot of people just say, oh, I need a network. I got to find a mixer to go to. And that's how I network. Y'all, I don't know what we're doing after this brunch, but this is the queen of networking right here, okay? This girl will network. She doesn't know a stranger, but she has the credibility and the credentials to back it up. So you never know who you're in a room with. So when you make those connections, it can mean sometimes you got to do stuff that you don't want to do. Go to places you don't want to be. It means coming out of your comfort zone and take on projects at work that you may not even want to do, or sometimes don't even know how to do it. But yeah, I'll do that. Oh, I get to work with a different department. Oh, I get to work with a different leader. Sure, let me take that on. Because by the time I'm done with this project, they'll know my name, they'll know my work ethic. And when they have a spot on their team or a management role on their team, they'll remember me. Because what we do know is not all about what you know, it's about who you know. Exactly. And so you got to come out of your comfort crew. So we all got that comfort crew at work. You know, your people, you go into the break room, you looking for them because I'm sitting by them, right? That's my girl. I can talk to her, right? Or when you go to work and you got your desk mate or your cube mate, you comfortable. Then you get somebody new and you be like, oh girl, hold on. We got to fill her out first. I don't know her, you know? That's your comfort crew. But I'm here to tell y'all that nothing happens inside your comfort zone. Extraordinary things come outside of your comfort zone. Yeah. And I'm here to tell y'all, being a working single mother in Houston when I'm a small town girl from Killeen, Texas, that was scary. But all good things come out of my comfort zone and working hard to achieve those. So I also recommend having a 2-minute elevator speech prepared, okay? And so what that means is you're speaking up, standing out, and separating yourself as a value to the organization, or you have a speech for your organization, your business that you are working, right? So if somebody says, what do? You be like, oh, what do I do? Or how do I sum it up? Yeah. Plan to have that elevator speech ready so that you can tell somebody, hi, my name's Ty Beaver. I work in higher education as an HR manager and I do X, Y, and Z. Oh, great. Can I have your card? Yep. Here you go. Perfect. You just tell them really quick who you are and the impact that you make. And doing this will give you examples for your performance review so you can tell people how great you are. It'll give you examples to put on your resume. And doing this, you'll have key examples always on the ready to share with people. And remembering that the goal is to leave a lasting impression on people, because again, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So in closing, you have more control over your career than you think. If you can incorporate some of what I said, just the 3 things that we discussed, I believe you'll see great results as you continue down your career path. And as told by the first-time mom in 2011, I like to say that those tips work wonders for her. So thank you for your time. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Like they said, set goals, put a time to it, and execute it. We can't do anything without execution. The execution piece is very critical. So great job, Ty. Great job, Brittany. So pull out your raffle tickets. Yeah. Oh, let Miss Sandy daughter. Miss Sandy daughter, she's so sweet. She's at the front. She's like, I sat in the wrong place. All right, so 004022. 004022. Nobody? Don't want their gift? Wow. Okay. 004032. 032. Oh, great! That's my toy. Okay. All right. They set up and ready to go. Okay, so our third speaker. So when COVID happened, I was teaching my little cycling class. I thought I was really something. And then, for COVID, they said, oh, everybody, we're not going to use our instructors anymore. At 24-Hour Fitness, they said, everybody, we're not going to use our instructors anymore. We're going through COVID. We don't know what we're going to do. We don't know a path forward. Okay. So then I came back to the gym after COVID, and my student was teaching the class. I walked in, and she was hard too. After the first couple classes, I said, was I this hard? She said, yes, you were. I said, girl, I got to get it together because I done got out of shape in here. But the next speaker, I'm so excited to introduce her. She teaches our cycling classes. So we have our table in the back, all 24-Hour Fitness crew. We all in class together. We all work out together. We all just on fire for cycling. We all love cycling class. But when I got back after COVID, she was there, and I was so excited to see her because Tara would sit in the right corner on the second row, and she'd be killing it. And I'd be like, oh, I hope she don't look up because I'm tired and I'm kind of slacking, and she kind of beat me in the crowd. But she is so great. So Tara Mason is an indoor cycling instructor at 24-Hour Fitness in Pearland, Texas. She started indoor cycling in 2018 and fell in love with her class. After her gym reopened following the COVID lockdown, she was given an opportunity to help get the indoor cycling back in full swing by becoming a Schwinn certified cycling instructor. Tara now teaches 3 classes a week with a focus on having fun while completing challenging cardio workouts. In addition to the regular exercise, Tara attempted to live a healthy, balanced lifestyle through nutrition and maintaining an active faith. She regularly practices her belief that the body is a temple that you should steward well in order to give all people you love in your life the best you. This encompasses maintaining a healthy connection between the spirit, mind, and body through the 3 M's: meditate, map, and move. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce my cycling instructor, Tara Mason.
So much, Crystal.
No problem.
Blessings. I am a woman of faith, ladies, and Proverbs 18:16 says, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. Well, honey, today I am a testimony that my passion, yes, for fitness and wellness has made room and introduced me to Crystal. So thank you so much. It has brought me before all of these beautiful, extraordinary women. Blessings, blessings to you all. It's wonderful to be here with you. So I am going to talk about the 3 M's. I am a strong proponent of maintaining a balanced and healthy lifestyle. I came from class this morning, y'all, straight here. This is who I am. This is me at my core. And I believe that you should have a balanced, healthy lifestyle to succeed in life. And that means having a balance in spirit, mind, and body. So that's why I'm going to talk to you today about the 3 M's: meditate, map, and move. So first, the spirit. Meditate. This is something that you can do every single day, and I do encourage you to do it every single day. And what do I mean by meditate? I'm talking about quieting yourself. We have a lot of distractions in the world. We have a lot of noise in the world, coming at us at all different directions. That keeps us anxious and tight, even fearful. It hinders us from being our best selves. So when I say meditate, we can do a quick exercise, and I want you to do this with me. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to take a deep breath in slowly and exhale out. Let's do that together. Inhale. Let it out. Inhale. Let it out. One more time. Inhale. Let it out. Do you see how just that simple exercise relaxed your body? Yeah. And just imagine if you just did that 3 to 5 minutes a day, just to relax. Your body will respond in a very positive way. It will allow you to come back into balance spiritually, just to get rid of all the noise. When you say, Tara, what do I do during this breathing that you just did? Well, Brittany mentioned earlier, she meditates, she likes to read her scriptures. You can do that. If you're not someone to read scriptures, you can affirm yourself. You can speak positive things over your life. You can speak those things in that glass that's half full. We don't have to focus on the part that's half empty. There's always half full. You can affirm and speak those things while you're breathing slowly. You can affirm and speak positive things over your family, what you're grateful for about your family members, your friends. And yes, you can even affirm positive things about the job that God has given you. Yes, there may be stressful things, but there's positive things that you can affirm as well. This will help you get into a right space spiritually so that you can succeed throughout the rest of the day, that no matter what comes at you, you've set yourself. I have to read this because I don't want to mess it up. You know, in Genesis 2:7, it says, "And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. It is in God that I live and move and have my being." You must take time to breathe. The world will have you panting. That is how the world will have you going, non-stop. You're not taking in the breath of God. You're not living. You're not breathing like that. You truly need each breath to come into you, and you need to exhale that breath. What I'm encouraging you to do through the meditation, to that slow breathing, It helps you to take in the breath of God, which is a gift of you to you. It is a gift to you. Appreciate that gift. Take in the breath of God and release it out so that you can prepare yourself for the rest of the day. It does take that. So that's the first part, your spirit. Take care of it through meditation. Second part, mind. Mind. Well, how do we do that? MAP. And MAP for me is an acronym, make a plan. So my sisters already, Brittany and Ty, have been talking about planning, and I'm on it too. So apparently that's something that's really important, okay? And it's important to a healthy, balanced lifestyle. Why? Because we know the saying as well, when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So I don't think any of us want to fail in here. I think we're all about being successful women. So I love the way Brittany pointed out that you need to plan a planning time. I love that. I love that. So go ahead and designate a time in your life every single day that you're going to plan to achieve something. And I'm taking it even in smaller steps because I want you to have and feel and experience daily success. So I just want you to plan 3 things that you're going to do. I don't care if you say, I'm going to do these 3 things in the next 5 minutes or in the next 10 minutes, or this is what I'm going to accomplish by lunch, or this is what I'm going to accomplish by dinner. I want you to, every single day, plan for yourself what you're going to accomplish. And then I want you to see yourself succeed in accomplishing those 3 things, whatever they are. Let me tell you what that does for you. It allows you to set some order in your life, regain control of your life. The world would have us just being reactive to everything, this, and you know with this thing right here, these notifications, oh my goodness gracious. It's just constantly stuff firing at you and it's making you just react. Okay, I gotta answer, I gotta answer this. Again, keeping us all anxious and tight. We're not living, we're existing in that framework. And that's not how we were created to be. So to get out of being reactive, we can be proactive by making a plan. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to accomplish these things in this way. Now that takes accessing resources like Brittany pointed out earlier, bringing in other people, do so. But if it doesn't, then you go ahead and say, well, I'm going to get these resources, I'm going to line this up and I'm going to accomplish this by XYZ time. That will bring such balance to your life because it gives you accomplishment, a sense of accomplishment. That I know that this is what I set out today and I actually did it. So make achievable goals, and Ty pointed that out. Make achievable goals, not ones that are unrealistic and unachievable, but achievable. Something that you know that you can get done for that day. And it doesn't have to be just for you, it can be for your family or for your career, your employment, but do that for yourself so that you are maintaining control and order and being proactive in your own life. That will center you and that will ground you. So last one, body, move, okay? That's my last M. We talked about meditating, we talked about mapping, make a plan, and now move, okay? That is for the body. We need to move every single day. I thought it was interesting, and I had to look it up before I came today, but you know, we have approximately 206 bones in the human adult body. We have approximately 600 muscles in the human adult body. And we have over 7 trillion nerves in the adult body. I bring all of this to your attention to emphasize the point that we were made to move. We were not made to sit at a desk all day. We were not. We were never created for this system that's in place. We don't have to accept that. We don't. And this system that is in place that has us sitting all day in front of a computer, at a desk, or in traffic, or even our social systems, I have to pause, even our social systems, we end up sitting. So let's get up.
Oh.
Just right now, yeah. Let's get up. If you can, I don't want to be disrespectful. If you're able to, if you're able to. Just stretch. In your own space, just stretch. In your own little space, do what you can. Move your neck. Oh, I heard somebody pop. I heard some popping going on. See? Move your neck side to side, down, up. Is your body thanking you right now? Does that feel good? Huh? All right, you can have a seat. Just that little bit. We were made to move. So I gave that example in our setting now, but when I was thinking about it, preparing for it to speak with you today, I said, even our social settings, then we want to have some girl time, or downtime. We'll go sit somewhere. We won't get out. And, so rethink your girl time, rethink your downtime, rethink your time with your kids, in plan some movement with them, to go for a walk, okay? To go outside and do something, or to even garden, just something that involves movement rather than sitting down at a table, sitting down in front of a screen, or sitting back down in a car. You follow what I'm saying? Movement. Your body requires it. Your body needs it. One that I had pointed out earlier about the bones and the muscles and the nerves that we have to experience all of creation that God has given us. But with our muscles, I also wanted to point out to you the other important thing about movement is that if we don't move, our muscles atrophy. And muscles are necessary, good healthy muscles are necessary because that's where you have your antibodies. That's where we store our ammunition against all these diseases that are going around. And they seem like they're popping up a new one every single day at this point. So since we're having this constant barrage of new diseases every single day, wouldn't you agree with me that it's very important to keep our antibodies up? So that means keeping our muscles strong. I know that we all cannot do the same exercises. I know that we all can't achieve the same things, but I tell you, you can move your arm up and down a little bit. You can stand up in and out of your chair a little bit. Even that will help your muscles remain engaged and not atrophy so that your antibodies can remain stored up in your body. Your antibodies are your ammunition. If you have no ammunition, how are you going to fight? How are you going to fight off the diseases? How are you going to fight off these different things, these different toxins that are coming towards your body every single day? Every single day. So that's my final thing about movement. So again, just to recount, meditate, map, move for your spirit, mind, and body every single day. Thank you. Oh, I'm dropping all your papers.
Thank you so much, Tara. And she means what she says when she says move. Oh, she can move. Oh, those legs be moving. But no, thank you so much. Her class is so fun and she has so much, don't let her fool you up here talking about meditate. When we in class, she'd be like, go, 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 go. I'd be like, okay. So no, she's really good, but I like her classes because she's very energetic. She's very encouraging. And I mean, at the end, like she takes it serious, the stretching piece. She takes it very serious. She encourages it. So I really want to thank you for coming to speak to us today. So they're bringing a little bit of the food out. It's about that time. So they're going to be bringing out the first couple of courses to your tables. Please feel free to go ahead and start eating. Cause I heard some stomachs growling a couple minutes ago. I was like, oh, they hungry. But please feel free to eat. Don't be ashamed. You know, we already got up and said, hey, how you doing? My name is Crystal. So we all acquainted by now. So just eat, do you, whatever that means. And then we'll just continue moving. So we do have one final speaker for the day, and her name is, get her right, Latoya Kent. So I know her name, but let me get her bio together. So Latoya, I've been following her on Instagram forever because she sells bundles and she's an amazing hairstylist. And I always followed her. I'm like, man, her hair be laid. I'm like, I can't afford her though, cause she look expensive. But I'ma just still watch. I'ma still follow her page and support her page. I'ma still watch. But yeah, I'm a single mom. So, look, I don't want to take no money out of nobody's pocket, but it's just, I love when women just have themselves together, whatever that means. And I love that all of us women, especially as African-American women, how, you know, we wear our hair in different styles. It doesn't have to be just in one certain style. It doesn't have to be straightened. We can do braids. We can do short hair. We can do long hair. We can do curly hair. You know, we can just do anything that we want to do to our hair. And I just love that. So that's what attracted me to her page. And also through an acquaintance that I knew, one of the ministers that I knew as well knew her and spoke very highly of her as well. So when I reached out to her about the brunch, she was like, you got all your speakers? I said, what you saying? What you saying? Because we could make this thing work. So again, it's all about networking and speaking up for the things that you want. You have to go after the things that you want. So she said, yeah, I'm asking because, yeah, I would love to. And so she definitely is someone that I was elated that she wanted to be a part of it. So I'm going to read her bio and then have her to come up. So Latoya Kent, a woman of virtue, transparency, and grace, molded by a colorful past, but groomed by God's love and purpose over her life. Latoya Kent is the embodiment of the resilience with a pioneering spirit and forward-thinking mind. Early on, as a high-profile hairstylist, she sought the opportunity to establish Studio Mink Hair Salon located in the Galleria area, which later developed into Lush XXI Premium Hair Extensions. Now, as a US-based hair wholesaler, she is breaking down the wall of the middleman and bringing elite quality raw extensions to the Houston area, providing other small business owners access to her level of products. Business is her passion, but motherhood is the priority. In the midst of developing her brand and empire, she is balancing her life as a mother of 3 intelligent young ladies. Coupled with an impressive background and giving spirit, it's not surprising that she is a devoted public servant to the Houston and surrounding areas. Constantly finding opportunities to give back and serve her community, whether it's a school drive, supply drive, providing someone the resources to start their own business, or lending her listening ear. An overall energetic and refreshing personality who is always willing to share her perspective on what is possible when we embrace a mindset of growth and creativity. Without further ado, I'm going to bring to you Latoya Kent.
Thank you, Crystal.
You're welcome. Okay, ladies,
I'm so excited to be in rooms like this because I was told I wasn't supposed to be in rooms like this. So this is a good feeling. So Crystal, that's why I asked, because beyond fear, that's where my purpose is. So thank you for having me. And so while y'all eating, I'm about to give y'all some more food for the soul. All right. What we didn't close in the bio about me was that I was a mother at 14, and then I was a mother again at 16. And then before my senior year, I was pregnant again. Now that child didn't make it. However, with that being said, you know that all the mothers that had friends around my age told me that's the example of what not to be, right? No worries, because everything comes back full circle. So moving forward, my parents are from the Virgin Islands, so they were immigrants here. So I didn't have any foundation or examples of what to do, how to do it. Everything was just more so work, survive. So that's just what I took with me. So college was not talked about. Graduating school was not talked about for a girl like me. It was just more so put food on the table, keep the roof over your head, keep the lights on type of thing. So I went into my own journey of finding a way to just provide for my children. The only way that I could think of was use what I got. And I mean, I know that may sound crazy, but all I had was just my body figure. So I went into the lane of exotic dancing. Now I know some people may look down upon that, but let me tell you something about what God used me for in that. I did not just do that and then just was like, okay, I'm here. God had his purpose on why I was there. There were so many women that I touched while I was there that are now in business alongside of me. So he brought me in a dark place to bring others out with me. So with that being said, I was dancing one night and I told a friend that I said, something does not feel right this night. And she was like, what's wrong? I was like, something just doesn't feel right. Honestly, my eyes changed right before me. What my vision did, what I saw was not of what I could explain in words. I just knew that that was my last night there. That last night of me being there was the night that I made the most amount of money in Houston history. 10 minutes on stage, I made $40,000. Wow. Immediately at that moment though, I wowed nothing, because immediately in that moment, I knew that I was on a battlefield of a war between good and evil. Yeah. Why the day that I'm ready to leave was the day that I made the most amount of money. So I knew I had to get the heck out of Dodge. So I did not even go back upstairs to put well, listen, I'm gonna be real. I kept the money, but I did not go back upstairs to get anything out my locker. I took my bags and I left. Well, fast forward, I'm pregnant now with my third child. What am I gonna do? Because all I've ever known what to do was just get up there and do what I do. But God said, you are fully equipped, regardless of, even though you did not go to school, you did not graduate, you did not have any lane of business, you are fully equipped. I did not know what that meant. But I had to keep faith that he knows what he's doing and why he uses me and why he's choosing to use me in this journey. With that time, I had to be stripped of everything. And when I say stripped of everything, literally, that $40,000 that may seem like a lot, when you're not financially literate, oh baby, I spent it like I was still making money like that. That money was gone within a matter of 60 days. So now guess what? I'm flat broke and I have 2 kids with a third one on the way. God, you say I'm fully equipped, but it looked like I ain't got nothing to work with. So I went back to naturally. Who am I? What does Toya love? Besides what she had to do, who is Toya? I love hair. When I tell you I love weave, when I was younger, I ain't have the best hair. So when I used to put a little towel on my head, you know how you wrap the towel around? I used to think that was my hair sometimes. And I used to just be playing with it. And so I knew that to who that is of me is hair. I love extensions. I love weaving. I love all of that. So guess what I did? I started calling people, letting them know I was doing hair, because one thing about me when I was in that field, I always had my hair together. People always wanted me to do their hair, but I never did, because I'm like, listen, this is still a competition, baby. Whoever gets the most money wins. So that's
But now I'm no longer in that field with them. So now they can now be my clients. So now I'm doing the hair, right? And I didn't know what to charge, but I wasn't charging high because at this point I had to be humble. So God had to strip me of who I once was to get to who I am today. So like I said, I had to be humbled. I had to take that walk of not shame, but it's just more so a walk of, how can I say, it was the walk of like, oh Lord, what's the word I'm trying to use? Humility. Yeah, that, but I just, it's the long walk home, basically. No shortcuts. Right. You know, I had to take oh, you thought you was all that, now look at you. Oh, you don't got no car now. Oh, girl, look at your clothes. Oh, it's like I had to take that you fell off. I had to hear it too. Oh, I'm talking about they hit me hard with it because I'm not gonna act like I wasn't thinking I was the baddest thing. You have to be confident in that type of field. So I was strutting my stuff, but oh yeah, I had to take that walk, but I had to take it with my head held high because I knew I didn't leave by force, I left by choice. And leaving by choice means that I knew that I had to come up out of this. Yeah. So, like I said, God had to strip me of all of that. Now, here I am having the same women that was talking about me that I was once running with, they're now my clients. Upon that journey, keep it going. I got hit every single time with something that almost made me want to turn back around. But God kept saying, you are fully equipped. You are fully equipped. So I'm constantly thinking, I'm fully equipped. I have the natural resources. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. God, lead me to this. As I'm going along that journey, it did not matter that I did not graduate because God put me with people that did. Yeah. It did not matter that I did not have the money because God put me with investors that believed in me. It did not matter what I did not have. God still had the resources. When he told me that I was fully equipped, what he meant was everything that's instilled in you, I need you to bring that out. I'm not a speaker, but I'm talking today, ain't I? You get what I'm saying? I'm fully equipped. And so I'm saying all that to tell you, you are too. Yeah. You don't have to look to your left or to look to your right because comparison is the devil. You are fully equipped with what you have to get where God needs you to be. It's not about where you want to be, because let me tell you, sometimes there were some things I did not want to do, and God said, yeah, you got to do that. You got to sow in the I'm like, that heifer? You want me to do that? And God, yes. And sure enough, sometimes you have to be okay with being a transfer. It was many times I realized, God, you used me for this person's elevation. It wasn't even about me elevating. It was about this person elevating. But again, the full circle, here we are. We're about to bring back to the full circle. The full circle was those people that were enemies of mine at one point that God said, talk to them. I need you to plant the seed into them. Those people are now my investors. And I didn't know that. So again, going into it, you don't know whether you're the transfer. Sometimes it's not about you elevating, because sometimes the elevation is for when it's later on down the line and you may need those people. Now I'm going into my 3 kids, because this is really the topic, but I had to bring that to y'all to give y'all a little light side. A little light side of who I am, because I am a spiritual gangster. Spiritual because I know God is using me, but gangster because when it comes to my business, I'm about that life. So you are talking to a spiritual gangster. So going into business now, I am at a level where I'm like, okay, God, thank you. I see what it was all about. I see the dark, well, I had to go through the dark times, even though I didn't put myself through there, but sometimes you have to go through the darkness to bring others out. Yeah. So now we're here at this platform in my life where now my business have hit 6 figures. But now that it's hit 6 figures, I'm still a single mom and I got 3 kids. And I'm battling depression because I just got out of an 8-year relationship. So this is very, very hard. This is one of those things where even though you see me moving every day, I'm on autopilot. I'm just trying to make it through the day so that I won't break. I said, God, there's no way you brought me this far and I'm ready to crumble. And I have no help. Like I said, my parents are immigrants, but my father's not in my life and my mother has a mental disorder to where she could barely hold on to herself. So I have no family here. It's literally just me and my 3 kids. God said again, You are fully equipped. I gave you all the resources. Why now are you doubting me when I brought you this far? So I'm like, well, what are the other resources? Because I already got this person doing this. I already got that person doing this. What more can I have? I looked at my 3 children. Yeah. I said, those are my resources. Yeah. I did not even think to use my children as my resources. So I have a 19-year-old, I have a 17-year-old, and I have an 8-year-old. Lamaya is, I told you at 14, I was, look. Yeah. So my 19-year-old, she's very nurturing. I think she should have born in the 60s because she's such a hippie. She's peace, love, namaste, all things good, right? Then I have Layla. She's a math genius. When I tell you this girl is so smart, she can crunch numbers like it ain't nothing. And everything has to be black and white, logical, has to have facts and evidence for her to move. She's one of those. So just understand how that spiritual journey talk with her kind of gets her. She's like, well, but we working on that. And then I have Jada. She's my 8-year-old. She's my wild card. She's my Gen Z kid, okay? Y'all know how them Gen Z kids are. God said, I fully equipped you with them. Working as I worked, they got neglected because I had to put the food on the table. And also, too, I just was tunnel vision. I'm like, let's keep this going. We'll strike while the iron's hot. Let's keep it going. But then God once again sat me down. My 3 resources was my children. I used Lamaya because she's my nurturer. She was my management for my home. Not only was she my management for my home, but she was also a person that taught me how to speak to people in kind ways. Sometimes when you come from where I come from, everything is aggressive. Yeah. I needed to get it done. There's no such thing as no. Oh, there's no front door for me to come through. Where's the window? But she said, sometimes, Mom, you can get a lot further just being nice, being a little bit more kinder. She taught me that, and that helped me so much in my business. Y'all don't understand. That was a part of my communication, public relations, and customer service. My second one is Layla, because she's so good with numbers, because she's so black and white, and she only moves with black and white. She really taught me how to structure my money. She said, this is your entertainment money. This is what you profit. This is what you flip. Now, this is a 17-year-old telling me how to do this. But this was my 17-year-old, which is why I now have Bundle Reviver, which is a product for my company. It's a reviver. I created a product that gives us the opportunity to wear our extensions longer without having to purchase more money on them. That idea came from my daughter. She said, if you're selling extensions, why aren't you selling the insurance for it? My 17-year-old. So now I have my 8-year-old. My 8-year-old is, like I said, she's my wild card child. You don't really know what to expect from her. You know, one minute she's like TikTok dancing, and the next minute she's YouTube and saying, hey guys, subscribe now, like, you know. However, she's always saying, Mom, do this with me. Do this ladies dance move with me. Do it. And I'm like, baby, like, Mama don't move like she used to. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I need to start stretching and stuff. 'Cause that might help now that I'm thinking about it. But I'm like, Mama don't move like she used to move, you know? Like, but she's like, Mama, just try like this and do like this. And she'll get on there and she'll record us, and then we'll do it right. And then she uploaded it. And I was like, wait, y'all make money from this? Yeah. So then we went viral, and we had over 40,000 views on one, and then I saw a deposit in one of my PayPal accounts. I said, oh my God. This is another source of income that I did not know. So I'm getting chills talking, you guys excuse me if I get a little emotional, but when God said you are fully equipped and you have your resources around you, this is what he meant, right? So don't ever think, despite what you've been through, that you are not good enough to be in rooms as such. Because I was told I would not make it this far. And my company has grossed over $500,000 this year. I don't have no education, but I have experience. Sometimes, sometimes people will tell you you're not good enough. And sometimes you will actually believe it. But at all times, it's not about who you are, it's whom you are. Okay? God used me to be here, and that's why I'm here today speaking with so much passion and conviction, because this is real. Yes. So I'm gonna bring it down. And I'm gonna just let you know that also too in business, what I've learned too through my children, through the resources of being a single mom and being in business, is that nobody talks to us about our trauma.
That's right.
What we don't understand and what we unconsciously do is we bring our trauma into our business. And we think that we need to do this class. Yeah. We need to do this networking event. We need to do, sometimes we just gotta pull ourselves out of where we are in the dark spot before we try to go somewhere else to try to bring light to somebody else. The trauma needs to get settled first before the business gets started, because then that's gonna be something else that's gonna be put on your plate that you're gonna feel like you're not good enough to do because you failed at it, because you was not in the right spiritual place to even start it. Yeah. So, my kids taught me all of that as a mom. Granted, building an empire is not easy. And it's the words God put on my heart this morning. Building the empire is not easy, but baby, it is not impossible. As long as God is centered in your business, there is nothing that you cannot do. Amen. The land of milk and honey is real. Yes. This is my land of milk and honey. I have immigrant parents, did not graduate. I am a full statistic, but you are looking at someone that is persevering. Yes. Oh, and I still got a long way to go. I'm just letting y'all know this is just a seed to where I'm about to go. Wow. So I'm just encouraging you all to, despite what you've been through, to keep going and keep God centered, have a relationship with Him. I beg y'all to have an altar at your home. Don't wait till Sunday to have an altar. Have an altar at your home. And do not be afraid to sacrifice for God, because you sacrifice for everybody else. Why can't you do it for the OG? Don't be afraid to do it. So yes, I don't want to bring y'all to church on Sunday, but on Saturday. But this is me. I don't talk about the books because I don't believe in a systematic way. I've broken the rules all the time, but God always told me this was my lane. So I'm just letting you know that this is when I talk, this is Toya. And I'm not here just to make y'all feel good or make it sound good. This is me. And I hope you love it and accept it. If not, oh well, I'm still coming through the doors. Yeah. So thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you.
That was great.
Thank you.
Wow. That was so great. So that just goes people wiping their face. Oh, wow. That just goes to show you that you can be and do anything that you want to do. If you don't, then it's just because you don't want to. It's just simply because you don't want to. Because she just said and told you she had every adversity, every obstacle. So when we talk about resilience, we're talking about working past adversity. And like I said earlier, being solution-oriented. Because you can't look at somebody and think they had an easy life. You know, people out here working hard, and like someone said earlier, there is a recipe for success. Don't let people tell you that it's not. Ain't nobody just stumbling up on success. I mean, people out here putting in work. People being told they not gonna be nothing. People being told they not gonna see anything. People being told they're not gonna be prosperous. People being told they're not gonna be anything, but they are doing it. So I hope that today has helped you.